Alright everybody, welcome back. Rich Santos back with another cycling video. So, I'm really excited for this next little project I've got going on. So what are we really talking about now? Well, we're talking specifically about a new bike build project I'm about to start. I'm going to be taking an old 26-inch mountain bike, a Giant ATX 770. That is this thing right here. And I'm going to turn this bike, which was this is a steel... This is a full chromoly, meaning it's steel frame. It's a full chromoly tubing steel fork. So this was an old mountain bike from the early 90s when Giant, which is an American manufacturer, when they were making... This was their top-end mountain bike. Now, it wasn't super high performance, but it was the best frame they were making at that time. And I just got this off of an eBay auction. So I spent $54 plus $15 shipping and handling for a total of $69. And what I got for that money was this, slightly used. You can see there's definitely some, some scratches in the paint and whatnot, but that's not a big deal. There's nothing structurally wrong with the frame. The frame's in really good shape. All of the key parts, all the threading is good. So I mean, yeah, it's been used, but that gives kind of some charm to it as well. But anyway, I got the frame set, seat post, which is a 30.2 millimeter seat post diameter, the seat post binder clamp, the frame, the fork, and the headset. I got all of that for $70, $69. Now, the rest of the bike is going to have to be built up with other parts. And so I've got a wheel set here. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold I've had the last week or so, so the intermittent coughing I apologize for. This is a wheel set from Nashbar. Well, I've ordered it from Nashbar. The company is Vuelta, and it's called a Vuelta Zero Light. It's a relatively budget wheel set, no doubt about it. 26-inch rim brake. It's got these arrow-bladed spokes, which gives it a slight arrow advantage. Not the lightest, not the raciest, but they're going to be sturdy. They're going to be dependable, and they're not that heavy. I've got them mounted up with some Nashbar brand 26 by 1.5. Those are inches, so 1.5 inch diameter wheels. These are basically road rubber, but I plan on using them for a little bit of the back road stuff. Not super heavy gravel, not super heavy off-road stuff, but there's going to be plenty of air in those tires, which can take up a lot of bumps. Even though they don't have a tread, an off-road tread, they're going to be pretty capable. At least I hope. And I've got tubes inside there. And so the way it's going to work is I'm going to take you through step by step every sort of aspect of building this bike up from scratch. So I'm going to be recording all of the weights of all the components, because I'm not necessarily a weight weenie, but I want the bike to be, I want to know where the weight of the bike is coming from, so that if I do future upgrades or changes, I know what would be sort of the most optimal places to attack or to alter things in order to get certain benefits, and where I'm already doing well. So, for example, the wheel set, I don't actually have right now the specific itemized weights, but the total for the entire wheel set, both wheels, tires, tubes, skewers, everything, as it is right now, is 3.3 kilos, or 3,300 grams, which is, what is that, 6.6 or 6.8 pounds, or something like that, which is a fair bit of weight, but I'm not that displeased with that. Now I've just got to add the rest of the components, which are pretty much all laid out over here. Some of these things I've already had, and some of these things I had to purchase. But I've got basically the cassette, the gears for the back, I've got the chain, bar tape, shifters and cables. I'm going to go with mini V-brakes. I may eventually switch to cantilever brakes, but I'm going to go with mini V-brakes off the bat, and I hope I have clearance for the tires. I've got my shifters. I got used Shimano Ultegra 3x10 speed shifters. They're used. They're a little banged up looking, at least on the hoods, but they actually have they still have really good movement in the springs inside there. They feel really good. Front derailleur rear derailleur. I'll talk about the drivetrain as I get into specifics. I'm going to make it into a touring bike. So I'm going to put on drop bars, and I'll talk about that process as well. And the crankset here is going to be a touring crankset. It's going to be a 48-36-24 in the front once I make my modifications, and an 11-36 in the back. So it's going to go from being an original mountain bike to being a modernized touring bike with a pretty incredibly wide gear ratio, gear range, and that'll hopefully where it fits in my fleet of bikes is that it'll become my tourer slash long day in the saddle bike where you want a lot of comfort. Steel bikes, I've never ridden steel, but they're apparently, you know, a lot more comfortable. They have a lot more flex. They absorb the road better, meaning that they're more comfortable for longer distances. This bike is really not going to be performance oriented. The goal for this bike is to make it super comfortable, super capable, and to be like a long day bike or a multiple day bike going out of town and doing some fun adventures. So that's pretty much it for the introduction.